Hello there my fellow Holotable heroes, and welcome to another fleet guide video. So in this one I just want to compile different ways to counter Leviathan, also show you different comps. Now this is not gonna be like a detailed guide explaining really about mechanics and RNG and everything, just more like a overview of all the different possible counters you can use. Now if you're interested in more individual in-depth guide for each of those counters I'm about to show you, they will link to my SWGOH for Life website where you can find all those guides that I've done previously before. This kind of really is supposed to be just more like a quick reference to all the different ways you can take down different Leviathan comps. So to begin with, I will start first off here with the SITH fighter starting lineup, just show you a few different counters. Obviously first let's start with Chimaera, because still, you know, I guess to date it's kind of the best, I guess, off meta counter, if you will, to the all kind of comps of Leviathan. So we start off using the special to get the foresight up, then we use the other special ability from Vader so he doesn't deal damage, then we dodge because of the foresight, which feeds Terminator to Chimaera, then we bring in TIE Defender, get a stun out on their bomber, then we do a dispel with SITH, there we go, and then we here try to one-shot SITH fighter. Perfect, we got him down this time. And from here on out, it's a pretty straightforward affair. We just kind of, you know, get the buffs going. Then they will bring a reinforcement. They got Mark 6 out first. That's okay. Let's go ahead, heal up TIE Defender, and just keep targeting their bomber. We can't get around the taunt for the time being. There we go. Okay, lots of dodging. Perfect. Let's go ahead and bring our second reinforcement, Mark 6. So we got a dispel. Unfortunately no buff immunity on the bomber, so I'll just keep hitting bomber then, because if I hit anybody else the bomber will taunt anyways, so might as well just keep hitting it, try to burn through it. If not, we'll use the ultimate in a moment. There we go. I decided to insta kill the Fury Interceptor and then finish up the bomber. And now I just have to dance here with Mark 6. It's always a bit annoying. Leviathan sometimes will get to the ultimate at this point, but you can still comfortably finish it off. So there you go, Leviathan getting to its ultimate, but it's already beat this time. So that's how Chimaera works. You're probably familiar with it. Let's move on to Profundity. Now with Profundity, in terms of the reinforcement, you can use Biggs, you can use Cassian, you can use Mark 6 is actually a good option to use as well. If you don't have Leviathan yourself, Mark 6 is great in any sort of lineup to help with countering because of tenacity up. Otherwise, straightforward affair. You use basic on Profundity, give it bonus turn, then you get tenacity up. Then you may land buff immunity on the bomber or not, and then get an assist to dispel the taunt, and then you have a clear shot at the SITH fighter with good RNG. You get SITH fighter down as well, and at this point you will probably struggle to take anybody else down, so it's just a case of getting to your ultimate before Leviathan does. So here, as mentioned before, if you do have Mark 6, you're not using it, your Leviathan, or you do not have Leviathan, can go ahead, reinforce it, gives you tenacity up, so again we can resist those nasty concussion mines so we don't get dazed, and we'll just keep going. Mark 6 gets nuked, that's fine, it did its job, it gave us tenacity up, so that's important. So hopefully once we do shake off these days we won't be able to get dazed again, and more tenacity up there as well with our Profundity. Now everybody has critical damage immunity, so at this point I called Falcon to assist, not their Outrider. If there would be no crit immunity, then you call obviously Outrider for more potential critical hits, just to speed up your ultimate. There we go, and I'll just go ahead, boom. I think they resisted shield disruption, unfortunately. There we go. This should give us now the ultimate, and we can just go ahead, pull it off, and this now obviously hopefully will get a win. We got Leviathan down, we just have to clean up here. You can bring in reinforcement if you want, obviously it'll get destroyed, but then you can go ahead, bring another one, and then you can keep cleaning up. But if you're in good place and you feel like you don't need bring reinforcements, you can obviously not do that as well, but just hit autoplay and they brought it out. Up next we have the Leviathan mirror. Again, I've done a detailed guide already on the Leviathan mirror, so just kind of again, going through it quickly, we start by Mark 6 starting, so we can get a tenacity up and everything. All right, they get a few hits, that's fine. Now it's our turn. Get tenacity up. There we go. And let's get the assist. Let's go ahead and as well disable their engines. All right, there we go. Yeah, that's also one good thing about Mark 6 Interceptor. I kind of likes to go after it, and it obviously can't get it below 1 health because it only has 1 health. So they don't get a turn meter starting. We already got their bomber down thanks to shield disruptor sticking. So as the first reinforcement, they brought out Mark 6, and as the first reinforcement, what you want to do is bring in a scimitar, so you can then go ahead and hide everybody in stealth except your Mark 6. So again, they can't target somebody else and potentially get them below 100% health, and then obviously they can start the turn meter rolling as well. So you can see at this point we are running circles around them. They're still kind of stuck behind Mark 6 Interceptor. We're just gonna go ahead now and try and finish off their SITH fighter, because as soon as their SITH fighter is down, they won't be able to catch up anymore with our turn meter, and at this point you can just hit autoplay and you should be good to go to finish off these guys, hitting the ultimate, finishing off Fury Interceptor, and then you have to again dance a little bit with Mark 6. It's got a few stacks at this point, so it might take a minute, but eventually we do get it down, and there was a win. So mirror pretty straightforward by using Mark 6. Another option, probably Negotiator. The win rates aren't great, maybe like 1 out of 3 or something, 1 out of 4. It's a lot of orange in this one, but for the most part, if you're looking for a 2-shot in Grand Arena or Territory Wars, it can work pretty well. The way it works is you go ahead, dispel the taunt on the bomber, which opens up SITH fighter. You just do mass assist. If you don't finish it off with mass assist, the AoE from Anakin, it will. Then you hide Anakin and as well Marauder in stealth, so the AI is forced to isolate Ahsoka. Alright, there we go, perfect. Okay, let's go ahead. Just try to avoid hitting there, because Ahsoka won't do any damage when she's isolated, so you don't want to get you know, more thermal detonators than her, so that's why I just use her cleanse ability. And yeah, we'll use the Mark 6 again. You can use Plow, you can use Y-Wing, there are many ways, but from my testing, Mark 6 makes this you know, more reliable. Not only you get tenacity up, again, AI likes to go after it, and you can cheese it a little bit for a couple of turns. There you go, AI wasting its mass assist on Mark 6 Interceptor. There we go, let's go ahead and get the ending loyalty on our guys. Right, sure, let's go ahead, hide Anakin again in stealth. Sure, we're just doing basics, I guess. There we go, let's go ahead, smack an AoE. Alright, so I guess no more reinforcements for us, but hopefully we don't need it. Let's go ahead and put a crit damage immunity over on Anakin, just try to keep him alive. Let's go ahead, dispel those buffs with Ahsoka. Some thermals coming our way. Let's see if we can finish off Pulp. Unfortunately not. They brought in Mark 6, but we had unending loyalty, so it just wasted its I guess insta-kill ability. Let's just go ahead and yeah, sure, give me a mass assist, so we get some Valor out on the field. So we started losing people at this point, but hopefully a big hit here from Anakin. There we go, that was TIE Bomber number 1. Let's go ahead, throw out the bombs, and that took care of Shuttle. They've gone into ultimate, and this is where sometimes Negotiator then kind of runs out of steam, especially you can get stuck behind Mark 6. They started bringing in more reinforcements and they overwhelm you. But for the most part, 2-shot with Negotiator is possible. By this point, this would have been a win. Just hit basic there on Bomber, and that's how you can use Negotiator. And let's move on to the next lineup with Leviathan. So this one, that they have Dagger starting. So this one for the most part is easier to beat, I think, because they don't have the whole turn meter train as they do with SITH Fighter. Same thing. So here, when they have Dagger starting, we start with Vader's basic, not the special ability. So we get it target locked in, so we can then later dispel the taunt. But anyway, our first reinforcement, Dagger, get a stun out there. And then we follow up that with a dispel of all the buffs. There we go. This now leaves Dagger out in the open. You may one-shot it, you may not one-shot it, and that's why we can now dispel here with your TIE Advanced, just to be safe, offense up, so just to ensure we do actually one-shot Dagger here with our TIE Defender. And at this point, things are looking good. Obviously, they will bring now SITH Fighter, so you're not quite out of the woods yet, but for the most part, you should be able to handle the situation here with all the dodging. We can now go ahead and bring our second reinforcement already, which is again gonna be TIE Interceptor. We dispel their buffs. This time I did get buff immunity on their bomber, which is great. So I can now go ahead after SITH Fighter, try to get it down so we stop their turn meter train whenever one of our guys does get below 100% health. There we go. Fighter down. Our next target there will be bomber. And here I'm going to just go ahead and insta-kill Fury, and then we can just go ahead, finish off TIE Bomber the good old-fashioned way with raw damage, just a couple of basics, and yeah, we are good to go in this one. And same thing, we'll go with Profundity. Again, as mentioned before, you can, as the reinforcement can be different. Cassian works, Biggs works, but by far the most reliable will be Mark 6 if you can afford to use it here. Same strategy otherwise, so we give turn over to our Outrider, we get tenacity up. This time no buff immunity, no assist, so very bad RNG to begin with. So yeah, just decided to leave Dagger alone, no point of going after it because you won't kill it because we didn't dispel there the taunt earlier. We'll just have to, you know, get our ultimate and deal with these guys later. There we go. I'm just gonna keep going after the bomber because otherwise it'll taunt anyway, so might as well just keep hitting it. There we go. I'm just gonna do here basic attack, get some assists, hopefully nice. And here comes the SITH Fighter. The good thing obviously about Profundity is no turn meter manipulation, so you do not have to worry about SITH Fighter feeding turn meter to the enemy. First reinforcement, as always, the best option is Mark 6, so we get that tenacity up. We also get a few hits here on it because they like to prioritize it. We're still kind of stuck behind bomber. We'll just have to wait to the ultimate. There we go, Mark 6 down. It did its job. And now after we brought in our first reinforcements, this is where we wiggle with our Falcon finally, just to cleanse up days, and then the Falcon will be able to start assisting. Let's go ahead, reapply the tenacity up so we can start resisting concussion mines. No critical hit immunity on the enemy at this point, so unlike in first battle, I called here Outrider to assist for more hits, more damage. Yeah, Foresight's a little bit annoying, so let's go ahead. Tap the Fury there, so we get a few crits on it, because remember it's all about the ultimate and we need crits to get the ultimate. We go, let's go ahead, dispel there we go, a couple of more crits, and there we go, we've got our ultimate ready to be used. Download progress complete, cleanse off with our Outrider, escape with the plans complete. Leviathan has to follow us, and now we are basically just cleaning up these guys. They can't do a whole lot. Again, sometimes like these two guys, if they're in bad shape, you may need to sacrifice some reinforcements so you can finish these guys off, or not. You can just kind of not use any. It really depends on the situation, but for the most part, once you get to your ultimate, you're good to go to finish these guys off. They can't do a whole lot. Yeah, just finish him, boom, only TIE Dagger left, and that's it. And then let's move on to the mirror match. Now, if they don't have SITH Fighter starting, you don't then have to use your own Mark 6 starting. You can just do the standard SITH Fighter starting, because then you can gain turn meter, and they can't because they don't have SITH Fighter starting. That's why everybody do use SITH Fighter on defense as well, just because it makes it more difficult for mirror matches. All right, there we go. As you can see, we started getting some turn meter now. When we started hitting those guys, getting them below 100% health, they healed up, which is good because we can get them below 100% health again when they heal up. Yeah, I'm gonna heal up as well because I've got nobody below 100% health yet. We got a couple of nice dodges. Let's go ahead now and bring in our first reinforcement, which, yeah, it's gonna be Mark 6 again. Like, I just like Mark 6 a lot more. Forget about its, you know, insta kill. It's all about getting to the ultimate first. If you can get your Mark 6 as the first reinforcement, get a tenacity up, get these counter attacks when we do have retribution on it. It will also ignore protection, which is nice. We can get against somebody below 100% health. There we go, perfect. Let's go ahead. Basics here. All right, they did their AoE. Okay, so things slow down a little bit at this point. I'm still kind of stuck behind their bomber, but hopefully we will be able to turn things around with our next reinforcement. Let's go ahead, disable their reinforcements, so no reinforcements for them. Sure, let's do an AoE now. There we go. I think that got Dagger below 100% health, so a little bit more turn meter for the team. And now I can go ahead, bring in our second reinforcement. So what I like to do in this situation is just bring in Dagger. There we go. Just do a basic there. I'm saving the AoE always for the Dagger for situation when it gets its bonus turn, because during that bonus turn it ignores protection, so you can again with the AoE get multiple enemies below that 100% threshold. That's really how it works. There we go. All right, it's still just kind of saving the AoE until we get the bonus turn, which is right about now. Now I can do the AoE, ignoring protection, getting SITH fighter there below 100% health. And now you can go ahead, pull off the ultimate, and then, you know, once you get your ultimate in the Leviathan mirror match, you are in excellent shape. I mean, you can just hit autoplay at this point as well if you're in Fleet Arena, but obviously for Grand Arena, you may want to play manually to save some banners. And let's go ahead and use Negotiator. So very similar strategy like with SITH fighter starting. We will go ahead, dispel the taunt with Ahsoka. Then we're going to do mass assist over on TIE Dagger. TIE Dagger again can be one shot. It's a bit beefier than SITH fighter. If you don't one shot it, the AoE in most cases will finish it off as well. Then we hide Anakin in stealth. They are forced to use up their isolate on Ahsoka, which is fine. Ahsoka was only there for the dispel at the start. Again, let's try to avoid, you know, getting debuffs on yourself, so might as well just cleanse with Ahsoka. She won't do a whole lot of damage there anyways. Again, different options, but for the most consistency, definitely Mark 6 is better than Plo or Y-Wing. Let's smack an AoE. We got buff immunity here, no healing immunity, but I'll take buff immunity, at least better than nothing. Yeah, that's fine. They can go ahead and finish off Ahsoka if they like. She did her job. We go. They're a little bit changing tactics, going after Mark 6, which is fine. Let's go ahead. Thanks to the buff immunity, no taunt on their bomber, so he was able to finish off TIE Fighter as well, so they can't really gain turn meter now anymore. With TIE Fighter down, let's go ahead again. Hide Anakin in stealth, so all they can do is target Ahsoka and Mark 6. Again, still having buff immunity over on bomber. You can just keep going after Fury Interceptor next, and there we'll go ahead and bring their reinforcement, which was not very clever, wasted their insta-kill on Mark 6, just removed a couple of those stacks. Second reinforcement, if you do get a chance, I like to bring in Gauntlet, because it can cleanse up the days and, you know, heal up a little bit the team, so you can then start gaining bonus turn meter again, getting assists, mass assist, finishing off their bomber, and now we just have to deal with Mark 6 Interceptor here at the very end. There we go. Sure, I even got another reinforcement out. Oh wow, that was a very nice run here. And let's go ahead now, move on to the third lineup of Leviathan. This one is more rare, but you do see it occasionally with Mark 6 starting. You just kind of, I guess, a little bit try to kind of, you know, a little bit throw people off in their normal routine versus Dagger and SITH fighter. So same thing, we're gonna get the 4 setup, then we're going to go ahead and do basic with TIE advanced. Okay, all right, that's fine. So as you can see, we're getting now same thing, defender out, and then we're gonna go ahead and drop a stun over on their bomber. All right, let's go ahead, we're gonna do a dispel. All right, and now the strategy here is try to get a hit on Fury, get a dispel, heal up the team, and again put a hit on Fury, There we go. We got through its savior mechanics. Here they come with the reinforcement. Alright, okay. They're getting a few turns in, that's okay. I'm going to go ahead now and bring in TIE Interceptor so we can, again, hopefully end that buff immunity. And now I can go ahead and let's go ahead finish off Fury Interceptor. Oh, almost got it down. There we go, that should do it. Fury's down. Again, we got buff immunity there on their bomber. So we can now go ahead and just finish off. Yeah, let's go ahead, use the ultimate, take the bomber out, and we just have to clean up the rest of the field. So that's a little bit different approach to this one. But yeah, Chimaera can still work pretty well here, as long as obviously you get RNG with that buff immunity. But you can see how maybe this can throw off Chimaera sometimes if somebody doesn't have experience how to deal with this starting lineup. And then we have Profundity again, also works, can also work versus this lineup. Same thing, we're just gonna go ahead here and give basic over on Outrider, get a bonus turn, get tenacity up. They resisted the buff immunity, but at least we got the assist from Falcon, so we got a dispel. So what are we gonna do here is just tap there. I really need Outrider to assist, but anyway, I think we'll get another chance. Let's go ahead, dispel the taunt from the bomber there. Unfortunately, Mark 6 got away from us there. It's got 16 stacks already, so just let it be. We're gonna now keep hitting their bomber with the shield disruption. We burn through its savior quite quickly. They're gonna go ahead, I guess, bring in SITH Fighter, get a stun on Falcon. A bit unfortunate, but we'll just have to deal with it. And again, you can bring in Cassian, Biggs, but again, Mark 6 works best here, I think. We get tenacity up for our guys. We get some counter attacks. Sure, why not? Okay, yeah, give me some assists. There we go. Mark 6 again did his job. It ate up that nasty mass assist there. Let's go ahead, reapply the tenacity up now on our guys. Alright, foresight, a little bit annoying. Let's go ahead and clear it off. So no crit immunity on bomber, so let's go ahead, target it, get Outrider for assist. Let's go ahead, finish it off. Also, the download progress complete at this point, so let's go ahead and start tapping over there. We can very quickly burn through the stacks of Mark 6 because obviously the basic there from Outrider deals damage multiple times. Burned out the Mark 6, you don't have to deal with it. Get away with the plans from Death Star. Leviathan has to chase you, and now you just have to clean up the rest of these guys. Again, if this is Fleet Arena, you can just hit autoplay at this point. If this is Grand Arena or Territory Wars, you want to maintain some banners, just finish off these guys manually, because if you do hit auto, AI will bring reinforcement and you will lose some banners there. And then we've got mirror match as well here. So again, it's going to be very similar. Just starting lineup with SITH Fighter will do. Again, we have advantage because we can gain turn meter and they can't because they don't have SITH Fighter starting. So let's go ahead, basic there, get things going, get a mass assist. Let's go ahead and disable their engines at this point. Perfect. They're getting a few hits out there. That's okay. Let's go ahead and use our special because it was below 50% health. Because of healing immunity, we were able to finish it off there with concussion mines. And now obviously it's kind of, you know, very easy here, very straightforward. Without their tank, we can do whatever we like. Again, I like to bring in a Mark 6 as the first reinforcement just for tenacity up, and as well the high targeting priority AI seem to have for it. Although at this point, because of taunt, they'll keep hitting bomber, but yeah. Now we got things under control here. Let's go ahead, disable their reinforcements. What do we want to do here? Everybody's days, might as well just use basic then. What have got for us? Okay, they brought SITH Fighter. It got destroyed, right? Because we used already our second special on Leviathan. Just finishing him off now at this point. Sure, bring me another reinforcement. Gonna bring in I brought in Scimitar, but I guess Dagger will do it. Really, you know, doesn't matter at this point, to be honest. Finish him off, and now we just have to deal with the pesky Mark 6 Interceptor. It's got quite a lot of stacks, but again, as soon as we hit the ultimate, we should be good to go, obviously, and finish it off, you know, hopefully relatively quickly. And we've got ourselves a Negotiator. Actually, this lineup, Negotiator, can sort of handle as well. It's very easy to get rid of Mark 6 here. So we do this spell, same as we do, then we do Mass Assist on Mark 6. AoE will finish it off, so Mark 6 is going to be a non-factor. And the reason why actually Negotiator has good chance of one-shotting is because usually with Negotiator you get stuck in the end trying to finish those 20-30 stacks of Mark 6. However, now we already dealt with Mark 6 Interceptor right out of the gate, so actually this lineup, I think it's actually the easiest to beat with Negotiator, at least for my testing. Same thing, bringing Mark 6 as the first reinforcement. We're just gonna do that. Boom, there we go. Bomber down already because of the healing immunity and buff immunity. Yeah, they brought in SITH fighter, but a little bit too late. They already lost, you know, all their big players. So, because really it's about bomber and Mark 6 interceptor. That's what makes Leviathan tick, really, especially when you're trying to use Negotiator versus these guys. Let's get unending loyalty. They didn't even get enough debuffs out yet. At this point, again, because Mark 6 is a huge source of debuffs with its AoE. So yeah, while this lineup can cause some problems to Chimaera with Mark 6 starting, then it just opens up for, I think, like relatively easy Negotiator counter. So I guess it depends. You may want a little bit sometimes switch up what you use on defense. Really here, probably basic from Anakin will finish it off, and that's it. And here we go, we are now on the fourth and final lineup of Leviathan. I have seen this a couple of times with TIE Bomber, so again I want to record that in case your opponent does put this down, just you can see how a little bit changes the order of operations here. Alright, we're just going to start off with a basic here, so we can go ahead and do a basic over there as well, just a little bit different. Alright. Because if we would have used Foresight there, Bomber would have dispelled it anyway, TIE Bomber that is, so we wouldn't get a dodge anyways. That's why we will save it for later. Let's get above this spell, and at this point we are good to go. We'll just go ahead and go after Fury there. Let's go ahead, ability block it so it doesn't get its mass assist out. Again, it's a very different order of operations with this one. Let's go ahead now and let's go ahead, stun Bomber, I guess. Try to finish off Bomber at least, I don't know. Let's see if we can get buff immunity now. Perfect, we got buff immunity over on their SITH Bomber. Unfortunately lost their TIE fighter, not looking good right now, but hopefully we can turn things around. Let's go ahead, heal up Vader. That Foresight is really annoying me there over on SITH fighter, so what I'll do, I'll just go ahead and work down their Bomber in the meantime. Let's go ahead here and yeah, let's do an AoE, maybe clear off that Foresight there from SITH fighter. Ooh, wasn't enough to finish it off, unfortunately. Let's go ahead and bring in our tiny interceptor. All right, sure, finish off their SITH fighter. Oh, RNG is not with me with this one. There we go. Finally got SITH fighter out. Okay, cool. Let's go ahead and use the ultimate. Might as well. Yeah, just chuck it down on their Furies. So you can see very different order of operation with TIE Bomber starting. So definitely, you know, if you haven't faced it before, it could throw off Chimaera a bit. And then we've got Profundity, or maybe this is to stop Profundity, right? Because if the Bomber gets its burning out, then your rebels won't be able to assist. Maybe that's the reason as well for using, if you see that your opponent is using Profundity to counter Leviathan, maybe TIE Bomber would be good, I don't know. Otherwise, same order of operations here as normal with Profundity. We'll just keep working down their SITH fighter for the time being. Disabled our engines, and there we go. And here comes, yeah, the nasty burning there from TIE Bomber. Not great, which means no assist from Falcon. So a little bit gonna slow us down in the opening sequence, but hopefully we can shake burning off in a couple of turns, and then we can get things back on track. They're bringing in SITH fighter first. Sure, let's go ahead, keep hitting their bomber. We can't do a whole lot at this point. Again, bringing in Mark 6 Interceptor, do an AoE, gives us tenacity up. Just gonna do basic. Hit him back. Hit him back. Alright, let's go ahead and shake off the days there. Mark 6 did his job, give a tenacity up, it ate up that mass assist there from their Fury Interceptor. Let's go ahead, reapply the tenacity up just to make sure we can keep resisting those concussion mines. Let's go ahead. Bomber's out in the open. Let's see if we can finish it off before it does apply burning on us again. There we go, bomber's down, perfect. All right, so we don't have to worry about burning anymore. We also completed our download progress. So as soon as Profundity gets a turn, we should be able to pull off the ultimate and get their Leviathan out of the battlefield, and then we just need to clean up these two guys that don't really have a whole lot of damage at this point. So again, Profundity works well. Again, just showing you how you need to a little bit differently deal with different starting lineups, because they have their own little bit nuances of, you know, the order of operations that you need to carry out here. By the way, gonna head, boom boom, that goes Fury as well. And Executor is making an appearance, because I've done a guide of an Executor versus Leviathan. It can work, but it requires specific turn order, which means adjusting your relic levels, mods and things like that. So it's not the most practical for majority of players. However, so this particular lineup, it can work pretty well. So I'm just gonna show you here. Yeah, just keep banging away at SITH bomber there. Get me an assist as well. Bam, bam, contract triggered already, perfect. Because yeah, without Dagger in there, they can't dispel debuffs. Without SITH Fighter in there, they can't get turn meter train rolling, because SITH Fighter is quite a fast ship. All these guys are very slow, so by the time they take a turn, you know, you pretty much got things already sorted out. We got their SITH bomber down, and yeah, so as you can see, like, each different lineup has its strengths, has its weaknesses. So I guess it really depends, you know, what your opponent likes to use, and maybe one of these other defensive lineups can a little bit throw them off, unless of course they have seen this video, then they will know how to deal with these lineups. All right, we got our first reinforcement out, which is Slave 1, some nice counterattacks. Let's go ahead, get their SITH Fighter out of there. So bomb is really kind of a non-factor, as you can see with Executor. It can really just cause some issues for Chimaera and maybe Profundity, but then again, it opens up to other counters. Depends what you want to use here. Just showing you a few different options, because I faced all of these 4 different Leviathan lineups a few different times in Grand Arena, although SITH Fighter or DAGGER are the more popular choices. And then we've of course got a mirror match as well. Mirror matches, as soon as they don't have SITH Fighter starting, you should have an upper hand quite easily with your Leviathan, if that's what you want to do. Because again, SITH Fighter, you get them below 100% health, and then you start getting bonus turn meter every time you do that. We get mass assist out there. We can now disable their engines as well. They're getting a few hits out. Dispel, just a minor inconvenience, I guess, at this point. The whole dispel burning thing really is, I guess, an anti-rebel thing. Let's go out. They got a taunt now. Okay. So we're stuck now behind TIE Bomber. Let's go ahead and bring in a Mark 6 Interceptor again, first reinforcement, do the AoE, land those debuffs, get tenacity up, and then going to go ahead and bring out their TIE Fighter again, you know, making mistakes, going after Mark 6. Right, now what I've got for us, just basic at this point. Everybody's dazed. Unfortunately, just do a basic, I guess. See if we can finish off these guys. Let's go ahead, disable their reinforcements. See if we can finish off their bomber while it has healing immunity on it. Perfect, healing immunity, concussion mines, finishing it off. Everybody still no, okay. We lost the days. Let's call SITH Fighter to assist. So we get their SITH Fighter below 100% health. More turn meter for the team. And second reinforcement, bringing in Dagger for the damage. At this point, I decided to just do the AoE so we can finish off the bomber. finish off as well SITH Fighter, and now just Fury left. And finally, Negotiator, just showing how to use Negotiator versus this lineup. As with the other Negotiator counters, that buff immunity, healing immunity, does it land or not, always kind of can determine how the battle will go. But for the most part, what you want to do is get a Dispel out, mass assist on their bomber, get it out of here, because if you don't, it'll get a turn and dispel then Valor from your guys. And without Valor, you can't feed Thermometer to your Negotiator. That's why you need to get TIE Bomber out before it gets its first turn. There we go. Otherwise, yeah, sure, let's give me a Dispel. Now we can do an AoE, maybe get an ability block. Good. And I'm gonna go ahead again, bring in our trusty Mark 6 Interceptor out here, get a Tenacity up rolling. And now we can hopefully finish this off before things get out of hand. They brought in SITH Fighter. There goes Ahsoka, that's fine, she did her job. Let's go ahead, finish off their bomber while he still has healing immunity. That's why, like, you know, running that healing immunity and or buff immunity is going to be very important for Negotiator counters. And getting that unending loyalty out there. Alright, let's go ahead. SITH Fighter down. And at this point, things are under control. We can just bring reinforcements, I guess, throw the bombs, I don't know. Again, if you do get a chance for second reinforcement with Negotiator, Gauntlet is perfect, comes out, clears all the debuffs, heals up the team a little bit, and then gets insta-killed, which is fine. It did its job, and now we can just go ahead, I guess, smack an AoE, lock in the healing immunity, and let's go ahead, do a basic here. And now we can just go ahead here, do mass assist over on their Mark 6 Interceptor, and that's a win as well. Alright guys, so that's the final battle for this video. Again, it was just like a compilation of different lineups of Leviathan, and then how to use each counter against those. I did individual in-depth guides if you're interested in understanding the mechanics and different RNG factors. Again, link in the description below to my SWGOH Life website, where you can go ahead and check out those guides if you haven't seen them yet. Otherwise, thank you for watching. I will see you in the next video, but until then, have fun, enjoy life, and may the RNG be with you, my friends.